Alright, fourth grade class. Today we are going to talk about the solar system. So I know we've talked about constellations, we've talked about the moon phases. Most of you are familiar with the terms, orbit, rotations. So can anyone tell me what makes up our solar system? Does anyone know? And that's fine, because today we are going to read a book, There's No Place Like Space, all about the solar system. So I know you guys really enjoyed the Dr. Seuss books. So we're going to be reading a book, and then I will be stopping throughout the book just to discuss some things, and we'll kind of look at some of the pictures before we go to our activity today with the Who Am I? So with that, you guys will be given an index card, and you're not going to look at it. You will be given it. Don't look at it. Once you come up to the front, you're going to put it up onto your forehead, and you're going to ask the other students questions to try and figure out what it is you are. Whether it is, the sun, Earth, Mercury, one of the things that we'll be discussing today. So does anyone know how many planets there are in the solar system? 8. Very good. So yes, and you're right. There used to be 9, but scientists have taken one of those as a dwarf planet. But very good. So let's start our story. And this is There's No Place Like Space, all about the solar system. So there's no place like space. I am the Cat in the Hat, and we're off to have fun. We'll visit the planets and the stars and the sun. There's no place like space. I will prove it to you. Your mother will not mind at all if I do. Jump in, here we go. We will fly up so high we can dance on the moon and play games in the sky. We'll swing past the stars, and in case you have missed them, soon you'll see the planets in our solar system. There are 8 of these planets that circle the sun, and soon you'll be able to name every one. So we see we got some planets here throughout the pages. And why are they wearing the helmets in these suits? Right, because there's less oxygen, right? They have to have oxygen. And in space, what else is there? Maybe that G word, less gravity, right? Less gravity. Mercury's close to the burning light. It is hot in the daytime, but freezing at night. So you see the craters here on Mercury? What other thing in our solar system has that? The moon. The moon, very good. On Venus, the weather is always the same. Hot, dry, and windy with no chance of rain. So, today's weather on Venus, really, really hot. Nearly 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Windy and dry. 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Could you imagine? Our summer days get up to 95, sometimes 100, and that's really hot, huh? So could you imagine 900 degrees? Can you guess the next planet? Well, here is a clue. It is my home and home to thing one and thing two. You've been living on it each day since your birth. It is third from the sun. It is our planet. So who can guess what planet? Earth. Right, Earth. It spins all the time, round and around like a top. It turns once every day and it will never stop. This question had thing one and thing two in a tizzy. If the Earth's always spinning, why don't we feel dizzy? So who can tell me why we don't feel dizzy? Let's find out. We don't feel the Earth as it spins on its way because we're spinning right with it. Right now, every day. Next, here's Mars. It's the color of rust. We sneeze here because it is covered with dust. Travel to Jupiter and you'll find it is bigger than all the other planets combined. So Jupiter's pretty big, isn't it? Saturn has rings. It's so light, who would think it could float in an ocean and not even sink? So you see Saturn in a ring? Very cool. A planet can have satellites that surround it. Uranus has lots of these objects around it. So do you see it here? The satellites? There are colors in space. I will show some to you. Neptune, planet 8, is a beautiful blue. Let me make sure you guys can see that. So we have which planet over here? Uranus. And then what color is Neptune? A beautiful blue, isn't it? We have seen all the planets. Now here is a trick to remember their names and remember them quick. Say Mallory, Valerie, Emily, Mickles just saved up 999 nickels. So if you notice, the first letter of each of these words is the same as the first letter in each of the planets' names. So let's all say that. Mallory, Valerie, Emily, Mickles just saved up 999 nickels. Now here is a game you can play in the skies. Connect all the stars you can see with your eyes. It's star dot to dot. Use your imaginations and you'll see big pictures we call constellations. A dog, the giant bear, and Leo the lion, Taurus the bull, and a hunter Orion. So can we see those? What do we have up here? You see how they connected them and saw a bear. And down here we had Orion. Then we have a great dog and a bull, a lion. Star in the sky may look like a dot, but really it's a big glowing ball and it's hot. And there's one star by far that's our favorite one. We can't live without it. The star is called, what's it called? Very good, class. The sun. From the earth, it looks big. There is one reason why. It's the closest to earth of the stars in the sky. But we Sorry, but be careful and never look right at the sun. Your eyes will get hurt, and that would not be fun. Now, how big is the sun? We just heard right. This minute, 1,000,000 of our Earths could all fit right in it. So 1,000,000 of our Earths could fit in the sun. How big is that? Really big, huh? Oh, look at the time. We must go very soon, but first we must take a quick look at the moon. So here we have the moon. The moon does not shine in the sky in the night, but like a big mirror reflects the sun's light. So how does the moon shine? Does it put up its own light? No, it reflects the sun's light, and that's how the moon shines that we see. Astronauts flew to the moon to explore a place no one had ever been before. They walked on the moon and then drove all over in a special moon car called a lunar rover. So what's it called? A lunar rover. An astronomer studies what's up in the sky. Thing too wants to be one. In fact, so do I. So how many of you would like to be an astronomer? Raise your hand. So some of you. The universe is a mysterious place. We are only just learning what happens in space. So I brought you a present to look in the sky. Just put this telescope up to your eye. Oh dear, I must go, fly back up to the stars and take things 1 and 2 out to dinner on Mars. And there's lots to discover, and it might be you who looks up in the sky and finds something new. So is this really a planet over here with the cat in the hat? No, it's not, is it? So let's look at some of our terms. So, does anyone know what an astronaut is? So it's a person who works in space, goes to space. So it's a person who pilots a spacecraft or works in space. And an astronomer is someone who studies the planets, stars, the sun, the moon, and other celestial bodies. So who can tell me what a constellation was? Yeah, a group of stars that form a pattern. Right. So what was that vehicle that they used? Raise your hand. Yeah. Good. A lunar rover. Very good. You were listening. So what is a satellite? It talked about it, but it didn't really say what it was. So satellites are a natural or man-made object that moves about and around a planet. So the telescope, that's what he gave them at the end. What did that help them do? So they could see far away. So it's an instrument that uses lenses to make faraway objects appear closer so that we can see them. So the solar system was the sun, all the planets that move around in it, and then now I'm going to have you guys clear off your desk and I'm going to bring you around a note card and we are going to start our activity.